Hey, what's up to the connects out there in high vibes? In today's video, I want to talk about becoming observant of yourself, your surroundings, and the basics of becoming observant in your life and your reality, and in your every day-to-day life type of scenarios and situations. So, one thing that I'll start off talking about being observant is why it's important to become observant and become the observer, not the observed, because when you're being the observed, you're not being the observer of what your actions, your choices, and things that are, you're supposed to be doing. Your life choices. If you're not being the observer of your own actions and choices, then someone else is going to be dictating your own actions and your choices, because that's the thing between observing and being observed. In the game of chess of life, there's always this game, this duality of checkers and chess that is being played. If you look into the symbology of certain Masonic things and what the real, there's multiple meanings. It means the duality, the balance, and the game of chess that is always going on, because there's chess players in life, and it's about being observant and what moves to make. In a game of chess, there are certain choices that you need to be aware of and be able to strategize in your life, so that way you can make better choices and make certain moves that are going to better your life to become a better spiritual person, or be able to protect yourself or do certain things, than you would be just being the person on the sidelines going, all right, I see what's going on, but how do I make the choice to do something about what I'm observing? So one thing that's going to also help is journaling. You want to start to journal and start to work on consciously becoming aware of basically tuning into starting off with, if you're just starting on your spiritual path, you want to start basics. You want to, like I said in one of my videos, building a spiritual foundation. And this is part of it. I'll have different videos that are going to be adding on to building, building a strong spiritual foundation, because there's not just one aspect of a foundation. There's many things that go into building a spiritual foundation, and being observant is one of those things. So when you continue to be observant, it's going to help you strengthen that ability to be observant of your foundation. If you're not observing how to build something and you're just watching someone else build and there's something wrong with it, but you don't take the time to go and actually apply what you observed or you're observing, how are you going to change anything? You have to apply the information that you have observed or taken in, or basically absorbed through your observations or your journaling. So once you can do that and start to become more aware of certain thoughts, certain things that are in your life, you can start to become a better chess player in life. You can start to make better choices, better, wiser choices to do certain things. You have this ability to now grasp and see more. Your view becomes wider. It's not narrow. It's you have a greater viewpoint from a higher perspective. It's not limited to a low point where you only have a certain percentage of your awareness where you can actually see things. So when you continue to observe and also meditate, because meditating is one of the most important things in your spirituality that you're going to have to do. You have to meditate, because without that, that is the key for you to actually help yourself become a better observer of your own thoughts and your actions within yourself. So you have to continue to do that, so that way you can, get to certain points in your life where you go through your own doorways that you can't go back through, because once you become observant or aware of certain things, you can't go back from that. You have to progress and make that choice whether you're going to want to go down, because once you become aware to a certain degree, there's a choice you get to make, either become negative or a positive person, because at a certain point you do have to make a choice. It's because if you become aware of both negative and positive things, you have to make a choice and learn how to balance it out by becoming a better person, because you can't just go down around the negative path and expect that you're going to get anywhere, because that's the illusion. It's the lies. When you're with spirit, it's that truth, and you get to observe that truth with that spiritual eye. So you want to become the best chess player and observer that you can be in life to your highest potential, so that way people aren't dictating the way you're going to go. You're not some pawn. You become a horse. You become a bishop, a rook. You get to be all these different parts that you can choose to play. Once you become observant, you get to choose what player you want to be in life. So being observant is going to help that, and not only, like I said, it's going to help build that spiritual foundation, so that way you now have more observation skills to observe things. You can acquire more information now because you're being observant. You can look at something and get downloads from spirit because you're being observant, and not allowing the ego to stop you from getting that type of information that you normally wouldn't get if your ego was in the way. So by allowing spirit to flow through you and accessing that information, you're going to allow yourself to rise to a higher state where you're now able to make a wider range of choices, and your vision will get different too. It's not just because you got to think there's a balance to, as you grow, your vision and your sight will grow. It's a visual prowessness that you have inside of you to understand things, to see things from a higher perspective with that spiritual light, and not through the illusion of the snake. So continue to do that, and you're going to see how your life changes. Don't take my word for it, just put in the work and you'll see. I don't want you to have to believe me, but you should be able to trust inside your own spirit, so that way you can get the experience to experience these things, because that's what's going to make you understand it to its fullest potential. You can hear what I'm saying, but you have to take in the work to get that first subjective experience, and then you'll have your collective experience with the people that are around you in your community, because that's when your vibration raises and you're able to connect and understand things to a higher perspective. Because when there's more people on a higher vibration, it's easier to connect, because when you're in the low vibration, your vibration, it's hard to connect because that ego's in the way. But when you're flowing with spirit and there's other people that are flowing with spirit, that connection is able to establish at a higher rate, and it's that much more better, because you're able to connect with others. You're able to sync up with people and actually connect the dots with those people, because you're not having this barrier put between you and the other person. You're allowing yourself to be connected with this person, because when you're in the ego, it's separating you from other people. It's the illusion of, I need to be by myself, or have my own experiences and say fuck everybody else. It's about connecting and being observant of that connectedness with others, because once you can observe it, you can even tap into it further. You have to continuously work on becoming more observant of certain things in your life, so that way you continue to grow and prosper as the highest potential that you can be. And you don't want to be somebody in life that is just somebody's, you're just somebody's pawn. You don't want to be that. You want to be your own chess player. You want to be able to control the chessboard. You want to be able to do all these things. And I got an agent walking up right now. But anyways, you want to become your own person that you want to be. See, when you start to talk about certain things, these agents will come up and try to distract you. Yeah, he's coming over this way, but anyways, I don't give a shit. You want to continue to be the best that you can be. So when you continue to do that, you're going to start to learn things and do things from a higher perspective. Let's see. But once you learn to do that, you'll be able to start to see things from a higher perspective, and you'll be able to spot out certain people that are, trying to stray you or make you fall off your path. These people will start to come around in your life and just randomly pop up, because that's what they do. They randomly pop up and try to distract you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's why they do that, because they're agents of the system. They don't want you to break free, because once you do, they'll try to distract you, because that's their job. They're there to basically always stop you from going to higher stages of consciousness, because that's what they want. This information that is being spoken, is attained through becoming spiritual, and you can do the exact same thing. And once you become, to your highest potential, you're going to unlock certain things that they don't want you to know. And, they're scared of that type of stuff, because it's all about, becoming all that you can be in life. So become the chess player that you need to become in life, because there's always a game of chess and duality here. And if you're not being the player, you're being the played. And that's the truth. I'm going to take a sip of this real quick. But anyways, be observant. Build that foundation, be observant, so that way once I talk about some other things, you can work on what you need to be observant of, and start, journaling, doing these things. So when I make a next video about, adding on to that spiritual foundation, or to that, you're going to be able to start observing, and you'll understand it to a higher perspective. And then you can go and watch all the videos that are archived in reprogramthematrix.com. If you haven't gotten there are tons of videos for you to actually turn up on, and you're going to want to watch those, because those are going to help you again. I watched one just last night, and I got whole new downloads, because my perspective I've been fully on my path a lot stronger than I was ever been in my whole life. And I was able to get more downloads than I previously was able to, now that my consciousness has raised to a level. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep rising, because the more you continue, the more you'll understand, the more you'll be able to see. And I keep saying it because it's so important. It's like if you really want to see things for what they are, you'll get the chance, you'll rise to your highest potential. But that's all I want to say in this video. You know, don't be someone's, you know, pawn. Be the king and have your queen. You know, you move together as one. You know, find that balance in duality. Come together as one. You know, really stand up for what's right in this world and don't let people, you know, control you, basically. So peace and out with my highest vibrations, my full love and my full gratitude to those watching, and have a high vibing day.